on housing. Not yet quite ready to upload our videos. You know, I'm an old dog, so I got a younger kid that's going to start working for me come this May, so we're excited for that. Doing a lot of research. We will get these things uploaded so that the video quality is up, sound is up, and all that good stuff. So apologize for the learning curve, A, and B, we will get this going so that everybody can watch it at their leisure. We'll be uploading those by 3:00 p.m. on Thursdays. So that is coming. Still doing the research, trying to figure it out, and a lot to learn for this old man at least. So. Thank you for joining us for another housing debrief. There is quite a bit going on, like normal. Wouldn't expect anything less of this economy than for it to continue to behave like it has, and here we are. So another housing debrief. I'm inviting everybody to like, subscribe, share. Helps in YouTube algorithms. It just helps get the word out there so that everybody understands exactly what's going on. So please like, share, all that good stuff. And subscribe. Is housing demand stalling? So this is what I was afraid of when mortgage rates continued to climb. It created a bit of an issue as far as housing is concerned. Now, the rest of the economy, we've seen it with several reports in a row that the economy is far too hot, hotter than expected, continues to be hot, and it's not just durable goods, it's across the board. It's kind of like they're wondering at this point if inflation is more embedded than they originally anticipated. We're not the only ones dealing with this inflation problem. It is pretty much around the world. I just did a presentation for Canada and Mexico as well, and it really is an issue all the way around the world. So we are very hot. Now, over the last month, since February 3rd, we started to get a series of economic reports. A lot of great things, like a really strong job market, unemployment levels down to when I was in diapers at 4 months old, strong CPI readings, a lot of different inflation readings that were stronger than expected, stronger than originally. And as a result, what the 10-year climb. And this is where we were 1 month ago today, 28 days ago. So that was the 2nd of February. As a matter of fact, it was my first YouTube for season 4, and we were at 5.99% in interest rates. And this is where we were. We were well below 3.5%, making our way down towards 3.4%. That was kind of a floor. From that point on, the very next day is when we got that jobs report, and it just kept on going up until we got to today, and it went above 4%, and it closed above 4%. As a result, this is where we were a month ago. This is where we are today, 7.1%. So we have gone above 7%. We did it in October, we did it in November, and now here we've done it at the beginning of March. So it says I'm breaking up. I apologize for the breaking up. Like I said, I am going to be uploading these videos, so I apologize for it. I'm just going to keep on going, and we will get this fixed and uploaded. The purchase application index, you could see this. Right now, this is purchase applications, not refinances, because refinances are way down now. Purchase applications and digesting all those higher rates have been going up on a weekly basis, or actually going down, I should say. Down 6% week over week was the most recent reading that came out yesterday. It is down 44% year over year. And if you draw a line across, the last time we were at where we are currently, the purchase application index dates all the way back to 1995. Now, I understand that everybody said that we were ramping up at the beginning of the year, and you can actually see it, that it was ramping up slightly, and then it has come down over the course of the last 4 weeks because we've had interest rates that have continued to drive in the upward direction. And that affects demand. And you can see it. What it's turned is a lot of buyers that were out there in the marketplace, and I understand that this doesn't feel like the story that's out there, but we'll get to that in a minute. But there are a lot of buyers that are now sitting back. Some of them can't qualify as much because they were looking at interest rates like right around 6%. Now they're looking at a whole percentage point higher. And here we are just, a month later. That really does eat into buyers' capabilities. So it's their purchasing power. And you can see it. This is the median detached price over time. And I plugged in January's number for where we are today at 7.1%. And I'm showing you over here that you can see how for years, from 2018 all the way through the first few months, 2021, we were flat. And then it continued to go up until this is where we are right now. This is a little bit less because the median price has come down from October, where we had an interest rate that was a little bit lower, but a payment that was higher because we had a higher value. Today, the payment is pretty close. It's at $4,465 per month. That is the median detached price for all of Southern California, and that's at 7.1%. So it's climbing up to that upper echelon that beats out October and is closer to what we were dealing with in November. So now, as far as demand's concerned, I did this intentionally. I went back and showed you everything that's been since the expansion year of 2013 on, when I started tracking all of Southern California. And you can see where we currently are. And that is the demand reading. And the demand reading, you can see within the last 2 weeks, has gone flat. It goes flat in other years, but way higher is where it goes flat. So this beats where we were during the COVID lockdowns, but it is definitely far lower than where we normally have behaved. And arguably the COVID lockdown was because we simply could not do business there for a short while where nobody placed their homes on the market. So now I'm pulling off all those extra lines and showing you right now today we're at 11,277 for demand. That's a reading of the last 30 days of under contract activity, pending activity. And that was only up 2% or up 194 pendings in the last 2 weeks. So not a giant. It's up a little bit, but not much. And last year we were at 15,755, which is 40% higher, almost 4,500 extra escrows at this point in time. And that's for all SoCal. 3-year average is 15,527. So pretty similar to where we were last year, and that's 38% higher. It's kind of like we've reached our cruising altitude. We may go up a little bit from here, but not a whole heck of a lot unless we got interest rates that came down considerably, which right now we're not anticipating. Now, the next jobs report, I thought it came out today. I was, because I was going by, I wasn't looking at my sheet. It's actually a week from today. So a week from today is the jobs number, and that will tell us quite a bit as to where interest rates will go further, and probably will ultimately forecast where the Fed goes as well. I think that's going to carry a lot of weight. Now, the Southern California demand, that snapshot of the last 30 days worth of escrow activity, it's kind of going to only cruise along and slightly go up and most likely peak. I'm hoping it peaks at a higher rate in between the months of April and the third week of May. That's a normal peak. Last year we got an early peak in the middle of March, and it didn't climb much from where it's at. We're not going at the same incline that we were last year. That's the orange line where we were increasing. And that's because the market was still great and was hung over from the 2021 while interest rates continued to climb, but we still had demand in the system. And it looks like we're going to go flat from there and then follow last year. That's where we presently are until we get a pivot change in any kind of interest rates as soon as we get better readings that are more favorable for the inflation numbers. In order for inflation to come down, we need to see that the overall economy cools from its over hot zealousness right now, and that's just hasn't been what it's been showing or forecasting. It looks like it's going to continue to be that way until we have more of these rate hikes that the Fed has done in the past year for them to be more absorbed into the system and ultimately cool down the economy. That's what everybody's kind of anticipating, but we're going to have to see. It's been like uncharted waters, and it's very hard to navigate here. That we are not going to get a real rise in demand until we get interest rates going down. And part of this problem with the demand side of the things, because we actually do have a lot of buyer activity and open house activity. There's the buyers that are currently wanting to purchase but can't because there's simply not enough homes on the market. I've referred to this in the past, this supply crisis, but this is what we're dealing with. Now, the number of homes that come on the market, and typically this is the 3-year average prior to COVID, 2017, 18, and 19. You can see we're finally into March. That's where more homes come on. April, May is the height of the number of homes that come on for all of SoCal. Now, the issue is that there is this effect going on called hunkering down, mortgage lockdown. I don't care what you call it. Even if you say that, people aren't moving because they simply can't afford to move. What's happening is people are not moving because of the great rate that they're in. And it's a majority of pretty much everybody out there has a rate that's much lower than the prevailing rate today. And you can actually see this in the numbers. This is for Southern California. I did this morning, and I do it on a monthly basis. You can see how this is the number of homes coming on the market on a monthly basis. We first had January, and then we had February. So I just did February, and you could see where it's at. January down 41%, or down 9,000. There are 9,000 missing sellers compared to what we normally place on in all of Southern California. The biggest offender is San Diego, but pretty much everybody is not placing enough homes on the market, not enough sellers, not enough homeowners opting to sell. In February, it was down 40%, missing another 8,400. That is 17,000 missing for sale signs for the first 2 months alone. So that is a very, very fast clip. And if we continue this clip, we're going to have a lot of people that aren't placing their homes on. All of last year, it was 50,000 for the entire year. That's that orange line. And you can see where we're starting off this year. It really looks like we're not going to have a lot of homeowners that are going to participate in the housing market here in Southern California, which is when they are sellers, a lot of them, even if they move out of the area or they go rent or something, a lot of them are going to turn into buyers someplace. And that is a missing aspect of demand. If they're not going to place their homes on the market, they're not a part of demand. So that's another missing piece of demand that's exacerbating the problem. And it all has to do with where rates are today. So we have that supply crisis. I wanted to thank our sponsor, Professional TC Services. They're real estate TC services. That's what they do. And, there's piles and piles, mounds of paperwork. And when you put something together, you want to be out there knocking on doors. You want to be out there doing all the prospecting you can. Instead of, are you inundated with paperwork? The average real estate transaction takes 16 hours of paperwork to put together. That is so worth hiring somebody just to put together the transaction. And that is what they do. You need help, they'll help you out. Let Professional TC Service help you by performing those non-revenue tasks to increase your productivity and efficiency and allow you to focus on prospecting. And there's 2 broker owners. They have over 20 years of experience, bilingual, superior service, virtual, flexible working hours, and their TCs are your taskmasters, and TCs are a calming force. So Professional TC Services, contact them. You can scan that QR code, contact Professional TC Service, and let them take care of the paperwork at 714-309-8732. That's 714-309-8732. Let them help you. Now back to the supply crisis. Yeah, man, there's like a tug of war between buyers and sellers because I told you there is a lack of demand because of where interest rates are, but there's a lack of supply because of where interest rates are, and they've been tugging it out. Buyers were winning from about August 22 on, until we got to January of this year. And by the time we got to the third week of the year, things were definitely a shift and they were changing. Inventory has continued to drill down. As a matter of fact, it looked like it was plateauing where it normally does in January, but it continued to dive down. This is across the United States. It went down 9% in just the last 30 days alone. And that is a big drop for the supply across the United States. This problem is not just a Southern California or California problem. It's a United States problem. Now, in Southern California, we've continued to go down over the last month and have actually shed 10% in the last month when we are normally at least climbing slightly, instead continuing to go down, digging a deeper hole into that supply crisis. And you could see that this is where we are right now. You could see the line going down. It is at a trajectory that even beats the line down for 2021. There are a couple markets. San Diego's just about to dip under that 2021. Orange County's already underneath that 2021. LA is knocking on the door as well. Not as much San Bernardino, Riverside. Riverside's making their way down, but this to just show you. Today, it actually went under 20,000. We're at 19,656, down 6%, down 1,146 homes in the last 2 weeks, and it was so far the largest 2-week drop so far of the year. This year is young, but that was a big drop in the last couple of weeks. Last year, we were at 12,915, but we were rising last year at this time. It was 34% less and 6,741 fewer homes on the market back then. And that's when I referred to it as a supply catastrophe. Yes, there are more homes than the last couple of years, but you can see how closely they're squeezed together right now. The 3-year average prior to COVID, 35,000 homes just about on the market. That's 78% more. We're at under 20, and we need to have 15,000 more homes on the market just to be at where we were prior to COVID. So we're not even close. That's why I refer to it as a supply crisis. It really has created a problem, and that is, you can see between the supply crisis and not enough homes coming on that turn into buyers, and then fewer buyers because of higher interest rates, there really is a demand problem that serves both sides of the equation, on both the buy side and on the list side, the sell side. So, but I do want to talk about the speed of the market as well before we wrap this thing up. The speed of the market, you can see the expected market time. Place your home on the market. When are you opening up escrow? It has really dropped since December. It's dropped quite a bit, and you can see at the start of the year, it was at over 100 days. We're at 52 days right now, down 4 days in the last 2 weeks, making our way down towards 50. It's really it's a lot hotter of a market than anybody had anticipated. And last year there were 25. It was at 25 days. That was insane. Anything below 40 is considered insane. We were there for a hot minute in 2013, but we were there for 2 years between 2020 and the second half of 2022. And there's a 3-year average of 68 days. That's prior to COVID, so 68 days. You can see we're well below that. And based upon everything that we're seeing, and there are plenty of markets that are participating in this, because I have this, my expected market time drills down to the city level, and I've looked throughout Southern California, and there are all that are actually below 40 days. And anything below 40 is considered insane. That's part of that insane marketplace that we had post-COVID. And we continue to have, we have that in many markets where, yes, we were going down in value, but in a lot of markets now, like Orange County has an expected market time in the like 45-day expected market time, and San Diego has an expected market time of 36 for the entire county. That is just too hot, and as a result, I've done tons and tons of meetings, and everybody's talking about the problem of not enough homes on the market. So, you know what? When there are not enough homes, it's like that same problem that we had during COVID with the toilet paper, and there was no toilet paper in any of the stores. So you can't really buy what's not for sale. And so as a result, when something does come for sale, there's kind of a frenzy, and it's almost like an unhealthy frenzy that I can't believe even exists today. I've already heard it. Back are these open houses with many people going through open houses because there's not enough to purchase, and also back are multiple bids. And I was just talking to a reporter right now about doing a story on multiple bids. That's the pulse of the market. There are a lot of homes that are selling for above the asking price even right now. I don't know if this is going to continue because we have interest rates that popped above 7%. And if the Fed continues to do something and we have interest rates at 7.5%, it'll be an interesting mix to see where we go from here. So we will just have to continue to bring you the data as we see it, because if you want to know where we're going right now, so do I. I want to know what all the next CPI, next labor report, all the different reports that come out, because what it ultimately means is the Fed And the reason why interest rates are going up is because what right now the Wall Street is telling the Fed that they need to do more. And we might see a 0.5% increase and more quarter point bumps going forward. And we might have the short-term rate get all the way up towards 6, which means if that happens, we can have interest rates that are up a lot more from where they are today. So we're just gonna have to stay tuned and see where everything goes from here. So, but if you want a copy of this Housing Debrief, you need to be a subscriber of the Housing Report. You can go to reportsonhousing.com to subscribe, and we have reports that dot over SoCal. We have been feverishly working on all the sheets, a lot of sheets for the Bay Area, getting out that report soon. The most recent one is called Rates Pave Path for Housing. All 5 counties have this right now. We'll get a new one for San Diego, Orange County, and LA this coming up week. And we want you to subscribe, $15 per month or $150 per year. First month is free if you still utilize the coupon code handcuffs. Haven't really updated that recently, but hey, you know what? Man, anyways, this market it continues to baffle the mind, and I will continue to bring it to you. It really has been uncharted territory where we're at right now. It's very hard to prognosticate where we are going. I am already wrong with our where the inventory is going, and who knows? It just depends upon where rates go to see if we get values that continue to stay flat or go down or go up. It really, honestly, we do not know because of where we sit right now. Because values, you need more homes to come on the market for there to be a saturation. Too many homes on the market for buyers to say, I'm not overpaying. Most buyers don't want to overpay, but when there's nothing available and there's like 5 people that want a home to purchase and they all want to purchase at the same time, they're starting to do things that are uncharacteristic of a market like what we are seeing right now. And that's where they're still willing to pay a little bit more than the asking price, which bodes well for keeping home values where they're at right now. We're just gonna have to stay tuned and continue to read the tea leaves and continue to watch the numbers and data as it comes in, because we have a progression model we follow, and we're gonna continue to bring you the latest and greatest. So thank you for tuning in again. We hope you have a fantastic finish to your week.